Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. It's me, Carrie Beglow, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Farmington Hills, here with a pre-recorded video. So I am not live on my Facebook page today, but please go ahead and comment, and I will definitely respond to you. So, on Wednesday, I asked you guys if you pre-cut your cardstock, which I definitely do. I use so much of the basic white and very vanilla in 4 inches by 5¼ inches. So I cut stacks of it and just have it available for me. Excuse me. I know a lot of people like to do that, but what happens is you end up with a lot of these little strips, which can be good for small sentiments, but not necessarily for anything else. And so I know I end up recycling the majority of them into my recycling bag. All right, so what am I going to do with them? All right, here we go. I had this idea. I did this similar thing once many years ago. I actually did this with a photograph in both I printed it both in color and in black and white, and then I did this. I'm going to use them for a weaving technique. So I'm not going to, I'm going to show you how I started, and I'll show you the bits and pieces, but I'm not going to make you watch me weave. You'll see the beginning and the end. So I take a strong adhesive, and I just ran it along one of the strips, just so that I had, I'm going to move these up. So y'all know, shop at MemoryINKers.com. Hostess code for July is ZGH9J4DG. And of course, you can use the bit.ly link. All right, so then I took these pieces and I placed them on here. And I gave myself the tiniest little bit of space in between them. And I'm hoping you guys can see there's a little tiny, oh, that's a little, it moved. It stuck when it moved. But can you see there's like the littlest bit of space? They're not quite up against each other. And I kept doing that, and I did it twice. Let me show you what that looks like. So I did it this way. I also used Post-it notes to kind of hold them in place for now. This one has taped, I've taped both ends of it, because this is the one I'm going to actually weave in. And then I did another one. This is like what you would call overkill. I do not need this much, but you're going to see why I did it. And I did not close off this end. I will be trimming it, but and I have the Post-it notes. So you know, weaving is pretty simple. You just kind of go in and out and in and out, right? Well, I wanted to do a card that would show weaving, so I'm going to show you my finished card. But the trick about this card is, see all the different colorings? I colored this before I weaved. So let me show you what that is like. And you kind of got to match it up. So I know that I'm going to go portrait style with this card. So I'm going to start with crushed curry and my blending brush. And this is why having the Post-it note under there is so important. I am going to make a sun. Okay, so I have my sun image right there. And then these are going to go, this is the only part you have to really think about. These are going to get weaved into this, but you see how I made it extra long because I'm going to want to match them up. So I am going to do my sun right about here. Plenty of space above and below. Okay, so now I have both of my suns where I want them onto that, onto these strips. Now I am going to use Balmy Blue for a sky. And I don't want this one in the way, so I'm going to move that. And I'm just going to start coloring my sky. I'm not panicking about it, like the shades and the things of the color. Like, you know, some are darker, some are lighter. I just want to have sky. There we go. So there's my sky. Then slide that over. I'm going to build a sky on this one. Now the only thing I want to remember is basically where my sky ends here. It's not hugely important, really, because of the way I'm going to weave it. Oh, I grabbed my green. That's just weird. Okay, so I've got a little green there. It's okay. I'm not going to panic. Nobody panic. I'm just going to go ahead and do blue. So it's a good thing it doesn't matter, because I started my green up way too high. But I definitely want to give myself a lot of room to breathe with this, even though I did get the green where I don't want it. It's okay. All right, so there we go. So now I have the blues. Now I can grab the green. I'm going to see, I think I might have some blue on that, so I know I'm going to cut this part off. And I'm thinking I might need a little more blue over here. Okay. So I want to make sure that I have a lot of the blue going on. Then I'm taking Old Olive for my green. And I am going to run some green. And again, I'm not going to panic about the fact that I do have green up there. It's all right once it gets weaved. But you want to give yourself plenty of, like, obviously this is, the card's only going to be this wide, but I don't know exactly how it's going to fit, so I want to give myself a lot of space to get a good amount. And you see the basic idea I'm going for, right, is grass and sky. So there we go. Now comes the fun part. All right. I am going to keep this. I'm going to trim this. Oh, I forgot to do the green down here. That would be a problem. So let me do my green here. I think I'm going to push a little green up a little higher than I was planning on it because of my boo-boo. Post-it notes are very important, because if you do it where there's no post-its, well, this is taped also, but they help keep your little strips from moving. Post-it note, you don't want to put tape across the back, because then when you peel it off, that's not going to be good. Okay, so there we go. Very simple, right? Now, I am going to trim some of this off, because I don't want to be going crazy while I'm weaving with super long pieces. And I know I don't want any of this white. So just trimming it off. But having the extended pieces are going to be helpful when you're actually doing this. The other part I'm going to cut off is where it is stitched together here with tape and the strip like I showed you when I started, because now I want these to be loose because they're going to be my things that I weave into the one there on my right. Okay, so here we go. Now I have my pieces. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start where my sun is. I'm going to just grab one of these middle pieces of sun. Oh, I got to take off your Post-it note from the back. Okay. And start weaving. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You just want to get a general idea at this point and get them where they belong. I'm not even going to worry about tightening them yet, which definitely is going to be a situation that we're going to want to do. So there we go. Then I can grab the one above it. And you guys know how to weave, I'm assuming, but it's over, under, over, under. And then you opposite it. See how it's opposite? That was over, this is under. That's all you have to do. Now, it's going to get easier, the weaving part, because right now I'm doing it close to where I have everything hooked together. So once I get these first few in there, it'll be fine. So again, I'm lining up basically where my yellows go, and then I'm going to throw in some of the blues. So here we go with this. I promise I'm not going to make you watch me weave it all. I just want to get to a point where I show you a few tricks. So I'm going to pause while I put in the next two, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you about how you need to get these tighter. So as I move this one in, because I know I have a lot more sun left on here, I know that the landscape ones, and remember I'm doing this upside down right now, I have enough to keep moving those over. And you want to try and squeeze them in and lock them into place. So that's what I'm doing here. And if you need to make adjustments, now that does bother me a little bit, but not enough to, I'm going to leave it. So you just keep squeezing them tight before you go to start again. So now, as you see, I've got some more of the sun parts being able to be added to my sun area. And again, I don't want to make you watch me weave all this, so I am going to put this video on pause. I just want you guys to get the idea of how much more sun I have. As I pull that up, I'm going to want to keep squeezing so that I'm getting a good weave for my sun. Like I said, that's really bugging me. You can take and try to add some, but I mean, I just got too much blue in there and it turned it green. But that's okay. It happens, right? So hold on while I do some more weaving. Super quick, still weaving, but I wanted you to know that I did try to add some more of the crushed curry in there. I don't think it helped very much, but that's okay. There's a black spot on my sun. I'll figure something out. All right, back to weaving. Okay, so I finished weaving, And there's a couple of things I want to show you. First, while I was weaving, I realized that I didn't want this blue one to tie in because look, it would have had too much green popping up. And then this is why you make extra. I pulled one off, and I have some Dotto or Hermafix or whatever on this Post-it note because it just wasn't enough. And when I pulled it off, I did so too quickly. So that's why it's always good to have extra. So now you can see this is way, way bigger than I need it to be. This is where you start to like squeeze everything in. Try to get your weave as tight as you can. Now, I am going to trim it off. I know that Stampin' Up! Sells, hang on, I'm trying to reach for it, sells this paper trimmer. This is an awesome paper trimmer. I'm telling you, I love it. But for this, as you are running that paper trimmer, it will get caught in each of these. So you saw when I was cutting, I have this, Stampin' Up! Did this quite a while ago. So I have this machine. It's very loud when it cuts. So I'm going to move it away from the camera so that you don't hear it doing its ka-ching thing. And I am going to start trimming this down. Note that I am not going to be putting any adhesive on the back. Okay, that's important. So let me get this set up. Drop something and I will get going here. So you just heard me cut. I just cut, but this little piece was on here, and so it was coming off. So I'm going to trim this a little bit more. So that I can have a good strong edge like that on mine. Then I'm taking that in and I am moving it down to 5 inches. I think I'm going to do some more adjusting, so just hold on a minute, you guys. And the reason is I want to make sure that the bottom and the top piece are about even width. They aren't perfect, but the top and the bottom, this one probably could have been a little bit better, but I was watching my widths here and here. So now I'm going to do it the other way, and that's at 5 inches. So this is going to be at 3 3/4 inches. So squeeze in mine a little bit more, sorry. And hang on, I'm doing some adjustments here because it happens. I'm sorry I don't have that under the camera for you right now. Okay, so here we go. That's what we have, and you can see I have a lot of loose pieces that are sticking up, and I'm going to take a minute and I'm just going to lift and dot those edges. So I'm not going to make you watch that. So let me pause while I lock down all of those. So I'm not quite done, but I wanted you to see that not only did I do them the long way, I'm also, or the short, the top and the bottom, I'm doing the sides as well. And watch how much you put on, because you're probably seeing a lot of glue now stuck to my glass mat because I squirted out a little more than I should have, like right there. It's just a little too much. You only really need a dot of it. All right, there we go. So now it's all glued and it is staying in place. This is not gonna unweave. So next I have pre-cut a few things. That's gonna go on the inside. This is gonna mat that. I pre-stamped the little dove and I've cut out these pretty trees. And these are from the Frosted Forest. This is an online exclusive. Huh, did I say I wasn't doing? This is online. It's a stamp set. Awesome dies. So you can see here's the tree I cut out, and here's for the dove, which is right there, or bird. And then it also comes with these awesome templates. So these are a lot of fun. I think here I've got a couple of cards. I will show you those at the end that I did with the templates. I just got it, so I'm just starting to play with it. But I'm thinking you've probably seen quite a few of them already online. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my silicone mat and I am going to very carefully squeeze some out. I could not find my little sponge that I always use. So I was like, oh no, what do I do? So I grab a piece of this and I am just going to, I don't want it too thick, and I'm just going to brush it onto these tree branches, brushing away. I'm hoping you guys are seeing this. Brushing away from the tips, but I do want to make sure that they are covered so that they stay stuck when I put it down. And then of course you want the bottom to stick as well. So all right, so there we have it. Let me set that on here so I don't lose my sticky one. All right, now I can set the trees on here, and I am going to let them be right up there, kind of following a line. You don't have to. And you can see I still got some on the other side, even though I was being really careful. I mean, it just happens. My fingers are sticky. I'm hoping I turned my tape back on. Let me look, because oh no. Okay, cool. We're still recording. It's funny the things you think about. Now I'm going to add my little bird, and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to grab some more because I've got plenty of this adhesive on here. I'm not popping anything up simply because this is already fairly thick with the, I could do it there, but is that weird? It might cover that a little bit. Let me see. I'm going to go ahead and do it. That'll help hide some of that boo-boo that I made. And you can see on my original, which is here, I did not do that. So I am going to now adhere this to some Mossy Meadow. Now, you know I've been using Old Olive for my grass, but I used Mossy Meadow for the trees. So I'm using Mossy Meadow for my background. So now I can take some adhesive and put it all over back here. If you want to, you know, go ahead. It's not really that important for you to do that as long as you have your corners done. And then we're going to go ahead and press that into place. I love liquid glue, except it does ooze sometimes if you get a little zealous with it, which I apparently did because I've got it everywhere. Holy cow, it's all over my hands, you guys. You guys have that? And you're like forever picking glue boogers off your hand. All right, so now I want a sentiment on this. So what I did was I have the stamp from the stamp set. The wherever I put it, it is called Frosted Forest. And I have some Scotch tape. You guys have seen this trick before. I only want the thinking of you, so I'm going to cover up this bottom part, all right, and hope that I've got it all. Hold on, I've got to really look at this closely. I think I've got it all. It's hard to see sometimes, especially when you're doing a video. I guarantee you guys that when you're doing a video, you can't barely see anything. All right, so I've kind of pressed the tape so that it's like in between here, hoping that covers up anything. And I am going to use Mossy Meadow for that. The trick on this is to remember to remove the tape. That is very important. And then stamping the thinking of you. And I want to do the other part of the sentiment on the inside of the card. So this time, because that thinking of you is already inky, I'm not going to bother trying to tape it that way. But I am going to take a scrap, try to get some of the adhesive off of that part, or the ink off of that, so that my tape now sticks this way. Oh, come on. All right, everybody hold your breath. Not sure I have that covered. Hopefully I got it all. And now that's going to go on the inside. So look at how great that sentiment is. Thinking of you and how you strengthen my life. That is just, I feel like, because what we know about the conversations about all of us being woven together like a tapestry, we've, you know, if you're older, you've heard that sentiment before. So now I'm going to take my, this is Balmy Blue. Sorry about that. And this is my card base. I'm going to go ahead and fold that. Put this on the inside. I feel like I didn't get any over there. I did. Okay. There's so much adhesive on my glass mat right now. And I forgot to wet my glass mat spongy thing. All right, so that's on the inside. Now I can take my bone folder. And you know how I feel about flattening the edges. All right, so now I want this thinking of you on there, but I don't want it like all of it. So I am gonna just, I'm eyeballing it, you guys. The one on the original card, I actually trimmed this way and this way, but that was because when I stamped it, it didn't go center where I wanted it to go. I think that needs to be a little tighter. Oh, it's always scary when I double cut. Okay, that's not bad. Phew. Okay, so now I have that. I just feel better when I have that cut. So now I can put this on the front of the card. Okay, and then you decide, where do you want your thinking of you? Do you want it like here? This one, I've set them a little bit differently. I had more blue, that I put the trees down a little bit further, so I was able to put it right there, which technically I still can. I could put it down here over the trees, which is a thought. I could put it up there, but I don't think I like it up there. I think I'm going to try this one down here. I don't like it covering the trees. Is that weird, you guys? I think I might go ahead and put it right there. I'm going to trim it a little bit closer. Hold your breath, everybody. Carrie is trimming tight. It's very scary. All right, and now, here we go. Moment of truth. Is that even? Even-ish. It's even-ish, you guys. So there we go. There are my cards for today. So I'll zoom in a little bit for you so you can see them a little better. Zoom down. There we go. So there you go. Basically the same. I hope you guys like this fun technique. And yes, you can do this with just colored cardstock. You don't have to try to get fancy-pantsy like I did. I just thought it would be fun. So let me zoom back down so I can add in my commercial information. If you want to shop for Stampin' Up! Products, please go to MemoryINKers.com. That's my Stampin' Up! Website. If you need to email me, MemoryINKers@gmail.com. If you are shopping in July of 2024 or the first week in August, you can use hostess code ZGH9J4DG. All right, you guys, have a blessed and wonderful weekend. I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.